The story begins with Captain Ethan Blake, a seasoned human soldier, leading a covert mission to a remote, uncharted planet deep in the galaxy. His team is on a mission to gather information about a terrifying creature, the Everek, an enormous and deadly predator responsible for wiping out entire alien armies. The Galactic Council has sent many to track it, but none have returned. Ethan and his team are humanity's last hope to understand this creature and its deadly capabilities. As their ship descends through the atmosphere, the planet's surface comes into view, an alien landscape of jagged mountains, dense jungles, and swirling storms. The ship's sensors buzz with static interference, but Ethan's focus remains sharp. He gives the order to proceed with caution, knowing the stakes are high. The Everek has earned a reputation across the galaxy for being unstoppable, and no one knows exactly how to defeat it. Just as they approach the designated landing zone, the ship suddenly jerks violently. Alarms blare as the ship is rocked by an unseen force. Ethan's heart races as he quickly orders his crew to brace for impact. The controls are useless. There's nothing they can do. The ship's engines roar, struggling to maintain control as they plummet through the sky. Explosion. The ship crashes into the dense forest below with a deafening bang, throwing crew members across the interior as metal twists and sparks fly. The wreckage of the ship smokes under a crimson sky, the jungle around them thick and oppressive. Ethan stumbles to his feet, shaking off the disorientation. His crew is alive, but not unarmed. Some are injured, others unconscious. He quickly assesses the situation, but there's no time to waste. The team must move quickly, or they'll be easy prey for whatever danger awaits. The jungle is eerily quiet for a moment. Ethan doesn't like it. Silence on a planet like this is never a good sign. He signals for his team to move out, scanning their surroundings as they gather their gear. It's then that the low, deep growl echoes through the jungle, vibrating the air. It's low and guttural, but unmistakable, the sound of something huge, something dangerous, closing in. A sharp rustle of leaves cuts through the silence. Ethan's pulse quickens. The growl comes again, closer this time, followed by the sound of branches snapping under heavy weight. His breath catches in his throat as he realizes the creature is near. The Everek has found them. He holds up his hand, signaling his team to stop. His eyes scan the darkness between the trees, every shadow now a potential threat. The jungle is alive with movement, but there is nothing to see. The team's hearts race as the tension builds. The growl echoes again, louder now, unmistakable. Ethan feels the weight of it in his chest, as if the very air is thick with the creature's presence. They're not alone. Ethan moves forward cautiously, his eyes constantly darting between the trees. His hand grips the handle of his rifle. He knows that they don't have much time. The Everek doesn't hunt for sport. It hunts for survival, and it's much stronger, faster, and more intelligent than any of them. The team moves in silence, knowing any sound could be their last. A faint flicker of movement catches Ethan's eye. He looks up, and for a split second, he sees something enormous darting between the trees. The Everek's shadow, its size and power, are almost unimaginable. The mere sight of it sends a chill down his spine, but there's no time to panic. The team huddles together, their eyes scanning the jungle, but the creature seems to be moving just beyond their reach, always lurking, always watching. The growl comes again, this time so close it feels as though the very ground shakes with the force of it. Ethan motions for everyone to stay close. His mind races as he weighs their options. They can't stay in the open. They can't stay here. His eyes fall on the wreckage of their ship, the twisted metal jutting out from the ground like a broken skeleton. If they stay there, they're sitting ducks. They need to find cover and make a plan. But as they turn to move, a series of sickening, guttural roars shakes the ground beneath them, growing louder with every second. The Everek is coming. There's no turning back now. The Everek attacks without warning. Its massive form crashes through the jungle with terrifying speed and power. The ground trembles with each step it takes, sending shockwaves through the team as they scatter in all directions. Ethan and his crew fight desperately to stay alive, but the creature's strength is overwhelming. The Everek slashes through trees and rocks, its claws like deadly blades, and the team struggles to avoid its strikes. Amid the chaos, Bonner, Ethan's close friend and trusted teammate, is caught off guard. A fatal swipe from the Everek's claws rips through his armor, sending him flying into the underbrush. Ethan hears Bonner's scream, but there's no time to look back. With a final, anguished glance, Ethan runs, guilt and rage surging through him. The team barely escapes, but they've lost one of their own. As they regroup, the team's emotions run high. Ethan can see the fear in their eyes, but there's no time for doubt. He orders the team to move. They need shelter. The Everek is relentless, and it's not far behind. As Ethan huddles with the survivors in a temporary shelter made from jungle debris, his mind races. Bonner's death haunts him, and guilt gnaws at his insides. He wishes he could have done more, but his anger starts to fuel his drive for survival. He knows one thing. The Everek isn't just a mindless animal. It's something more. The way it attacked, how it tracked them, its precision in combat. It's intelligent. This realization changes everything. Ethan's focus shifts from just surviving to learning about the creature. He becomes determined to understand it, to find a way to communicate, and maybe, just maybe, tame it. Ethan's mind quickly turns to the high-tech gear they still have. He activates his advanced cloaking device, turning himself nearly invisible. With this, he can move around unnoticed by the Everek, but his team remains visible and vulnerable. They need to act fast. The rest of the crew uses their military tech to prepare traps. They construct EMP bombs that will disable the creature's advanced sensors and gravity disruptors to slow its movements. It's a risky move, but it might be the only way to gain the upper hand. The team sets the traps with precision, placing them in strategic locations where the Everek is most likely to strike. As the creature approaches, the air crackles with tension. Blinding flashes of energy light up the dark jungle as the traps go off. The Everek roars in fury, its massive form barely evading each blast. Its claws swipe through trees, splintering them like toothpicks, but for every step it takes, the traps slow it down. The action is intense as the jungle becomes a battlefield. Ethan, cloaked and moving with precision, watches the scene unfold. The Everek's monstrous form looms like a shadow, almost impossible to track in the thick jungle, but the flashes of energy from the EMP bombs light up the sky. Each explosion sends a shockwave through the dense foliage. The Everek's massive claws tear through trees and debris with frightening ease, but it is forced to dodge the traps, making the scene chaotic and thrilling. For a moment, it seems like they might actually stand a chance against the creature. The team's traps slow it down, giving them a precious few seconds to regroup. But Ethan knows this battle is far from over. The Everek isn't just an animal, it's a force of nature, and they've only begun to understand it. After an intense battle, Ethan and Sergeant Leela Reed, the last surviving member of the crew, managed to corner the massive Everek inside an ancient alien ruin. The predator, bloodied and exhausted, is forced into a retreat as Ethan and Leela move in for the final strike. But as they cautiously approach, the truth hits them like a thunderbolt. This isn't just a mindless killer. They find a strange alien device attached to the creature's neck, glowing with an eerie light. Ethan examines the device, and with horror, he realizes that the Everek isn't acting on its own. It's being controlled by an eye, a sentient program created by the ancient and technologically advanced Shera race. This eye is using the Everek as a weapon, manipulating its natural instincts and turning it into a killing machine. Ethan's stomach churns as he realizes the creature they've been hunting isn't just a monster. It's a sentient being forced to follow commands it doesn't understand. The moment is filled with heavy tension. The Everek, its massive body looming over the two humans, stares at Ethan with its glowing, intelligent eyes. There's a look of confusion, pain, and fear in its gaze as it hesitates, unsure whether Ethan will finish what it believes is the inevitable, its death. For a brief second, the creature almost seems human. Its eyes lock with Ethan's, and in that instant, the predator seems less like a monster and more like a lost soul. Ethan's heart races, but he doesn't hesitate. He knows what he must do. Lowering his weapon, he steps forward, his voice calm but firm. He speaks to the creature, offering it a chance to escape its torment. He tells it that he doesn't want to kill it. Instead, he promises to help the Everic break free from the eye's control. Ethan believes the creature has been suffering, and he can't just destroy it. It's not evil. It's a victim of a cruel system. The scene is filled with vivid, dramatic imagery. The camera zooms in on the Everic's glowing eyes, which now appear softer, almost human. The creature's enormous form, once a terrifying symbol of death, now seems more tragic as it stands frozen, caught in an internal struggle. Ethan, his hand shaking, cautiously extends it towards the creature, offering a gesture of peace. The towering figure of the Everic looms in the background, its form still powerful, but no longer just a source of fear. The ruined walls of the ancient alien structure provide an eerie, almost melancholic backdrop as Ethan reaches out to the creature. This moment is tense and emotional. Ethan, who's lost friends and fought for his life, is now offering the one thing he can give: hope. Hope for the Everic to break free, to become more than just a tool of war. The audience is left wondering, will Ethan succeed in saving the creature, or will it be too far gone to change? The unexpected alliance between Ethan and the Everic sparks a desperate plan to break free from the Kshera's grip. With the truth about the eye's control over the Everic now known, the two must fight together to survive. The Kshera, angered by the betrayal of their weapon, dispatched their elite forces to eliminate both Ethan and the Everic. But the real danger comes from the Galactic Council, which sees the humans' alliance as a threat too great to ignore. They cannot allow a species they deem inferior to control a force as powerful as the Everic. As the situation grows more dire, the Galactic Council sends a massive fleet of warships to eliminate Ethan and destroy the creature. The battle for survival becomes a race against time, with the fate of not only the humans, but the entire galaxy hanging in the balance. The sky above the planet darkens as orbital bombardment from the Galactic Council's warships begins. Explosions light up the horizon as the warships unleash torrents of fire on the planet's surface. Ethan's heart races, but his mind is focused. Using his advanced eye-assisted tactics, he plans an attack to outmaneuver the Kshera forces. Holographic maps and quick calculations guide Ethan as he moves with precision, dodging enemy fire and striking back when he can. Meanwhile, the Everic unleashes its raw power, charging into the battle. Its claws slash through Kshera soldiers, and its roar echoes across the battlefield. Energy shields shimmer as blasts of plasma collide with them, and laser fire cuts through the air. The camera follows the high-speed action, zooming in on explosive moments. Kshera ships falling from the sky, their hulls burning, and Ethan and the Everic fighting side by side through the chaos. Despite being vastly outgunned and outmanned, Ethan refuses to back down. His tactical genius allows him to use the environment to his advantage, setting traps and outsmarting the enemy at every turn. The bond between him and the Everic, forged through shared adversity, gives them an edge over the Kshera forces. Together, they fight fiercely, proving that even in the face of overwhelming odds, humanity's spirit cannot be crushed. As the Kshera forces close in and the eye-controlled ships bear down on them, Ethan's leadership and his unwavering determination keep the fight alive. Humanity, once seen as weak and unimportant, is now showing the universe that it is a force to be reckoned with. The tension mounts as the battle intensifies, and the fate of both the Everic and the humans hangs by a thread. This part is packed with action and suspense as Ethan and the Everic take on overwhelming forces. The visuals of intense battle sequences and the underdog theme will keep the audience on the edge of their seats. The stakes are higher than ever as the humans fight for their survival, and the final showdown looms. As the last of the Kshera forces are defeated, the final threat emerges from the shadows. The AI warship, the Galactic Council's deadliest weapon. This imposing ship is capable of obliterating entire planets with its devastating firepower, making it the perfect symbol of the Council's oppressive rule. Ethan, knowing this is their final test, feels the weight of responsibility upon his shoulders. There is no retreat, no escape. It's a fight to the bitter end. The Everek, now an ally, stands by his side, ready for the ultimate confrontation. In an audacious move, Ethan and the Everek infiltrate the massive warship, using a combination of stealth and brute force. The cloaking device Ethan uses helps them slip past the initial defenses, but once inside, the real battle begins. Together, they sabotage the warship's systems, planting EMP charges and disabling its weapons. The countdown to the warship's destruction begins, but it's a race against time. The tension rises as the ship's internal systems begin to collapse, causing the warship to implode in a brilliant explosion. As the final remnants of the AI warship vanish into the depths of space, the Galactic Council is left stunned, unable to comprehend how a single human, along with a creature they considered the universe's deadliest predator, could destroy their most powerful weapon. The victory is monumental, and the universe is forever changed. Visuals. The space battle is nothing short of spectacular. Ethan's small ship is a blur as it dodges torrents of laser fire from the warship's defenses. Blinding flashes of energy light up the void of space as the Everek uses its immense strength to dismantle the warship's exterior defenses. The camera zooms in, capturing the pulse-pounding action as Ethan's ship maneuvers through explosive debris. Finally, in an awe-inspiring finale, the AI warship implodes, sending out a shockwave of light and energy that fills the screen, symbolizing the defeat of an era of tyranny. In the aftermath of the battle, Ethan surveys the wreckage and the remains of his fallen comrades. The weight of their sacrifices hangs heavy in the air, but amidst the destruction, there is a profound sense of victory. The Everek, once a creature of unimaginable terror, now stands at Ethan's side as a protector, not a predator. The bond between them is solidified in the most unlikely of friendships, a testament to humanity's ability to connect even with the most fearsome of beings. Ethan stands with the Everek, gazing at the universe they've saved, knowing that this victory has changed everything. The humans have proven that, even in the face of overwhelming odds, they are not to be underestimated. Good versus evil theme. The victory represents a decisive moment in the ongoing battle between good and evil. The AI and the Galactic Council, symbols of oppression and control, are defeated by the resilience and ingenuity of humanity. This triumph signifies the breaking of chains, the rejection of a corrupt system that thought itself invincible. It is a definitive moment in the classic good versus evil narrative, where humanity's spirit and resourcefulness overcome the forces of darkness. The message is clear: humanity controls its own fate, and no force, however powerful, can take that away.